What up, though? This your boy DOC. Jeezy's mentor, what they're saying, former partner, former homeboy, has been indicted on charges of, he had already did 6 years on drug charges and watched Jeezy blow up. He got out, became conscious, and started preaching positivity to the community, and then ended up getting jammed up again. It's crazy, the feds was on to him the whole time. By the time he had hired a limousine bound for Texas with $185,000 cash in tow, cops were telling him. They were listening to his phone calls. James Maxwell Jr. trip west in that white limo 3 years ago this month, authorities now say was to pay for marijuana, a lot of it. He had been paroled from prison just 4 years earlier on a 6-year stretch on drug charges. Now he's back in the game. As it turns out, Maxwell, a Macon rap singer whose stage name is Sonny Spoon, will become a top dog in a local drug ring and reach as far as the West Coast and supply his customers.
Earlier today, the federal court unsealed an indictment charging 31 individuals in connection with a drug distribution conspiracy spanning from Houston, Texas to Northern California to Macon, Georgia. I'm not going to read out all the names right now. You have a copy of the press release you can use. But federal law enforcement officials across the country spent the day executing arrest warrants stemming from this indictment. Of course, let me remind you that an indictment is merely a charging document and an allegation of criminal activity. These 31 defendants, just like every criminal defendant that comes in federal court, is presumed innocent until they're proven guilty in court. Over the last couple of years, the existence of this drug distribution ring came to light in an unrelated investigation using a number of law enforcement tools. Our federal, state, and local agents and officers determined that large amounts of marijuana and cocaine were being shipped from California and or Texas to Georgia. This multi-state investigation led us to the identities of those involved in this drug distribution conspiracy. We've seized approximately $500,000 in cash during the course of this investigation. And based on our investigation, we believe that Mr. Maxwell and Mr. Jackson were responsible for obtaining and distributing approximately 15 kilograms of cocaine and approximately 5,300 kilograms, or more than 10,000 pounds of marijuana. This case was worked as part of our Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, and this task force is responsible for working major drug investigations, and in that we pool our information and investigative results from a number of agencies to maximize the effect of our law enforcement efforts. I want to acknowledge the good work of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, the Drug Enforcement Administration, Homeland Security, the Internal Revenue Service, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, and the Oconee Drug Task Force. The Department of Justice, our federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, and I personally remain committed to taking the fight to the drug dealers. We will not back down, and we'll use every resource at our disposal to make sure that these drug dealers and distributors go to prison for dumping this poison on our streets. I want to acknowledge all.
Meanwhile, he represented himself as a model of reform. He encouraged local youth to stay on the straight and narrow. He headlined Crimestopper campaigns, Rhyme Against Crime, which inspired kids to write down their rap songs. But the singer, seemingly back on track life, was soon back to humming an unlawful tune. In mid-October 2014, with all the cash in tow, his limousine didn't get far. It didn't get out of Georgia before investigators pulled it over between Macon and Columbus. They searched it and seized the money. From there, the government's sting operation, dubbed Making Money, picked up steam. Before it was over, more than 30 people would be implicated in a ring that was said to have funneled a ton of marijuana into the area between 2012 and 2014. In the U.S. District Court in Macon on Wednesday, Maxwell, 44 years old, pled guilty to marijuana distribution charges. He was sentenced to 10 years in federal penitentiary. He pled agreement described some Maxwell drug dealing at his Dollywood recording studio in West Macon. Housed in a tiny brick hut in the corner of Columbus and Bishop Roads just east of Interstate 475, the studio was said to be the timing and place to meet for some marijuana exchanges Maxwell oversaw. The Dollywood logo deemed it Hollywood of the South. Now, though, with Maxwell's star having fallen, it wasn't clear what would become a label. As Michael J. Moore, the former U.S. attorney here, put in Maxwell's latest Miss D came to light publicity 2 years ago. Quote unquote, he will face the music. They said some of the drug trafficking through the mail through commercial vehicles shipping items from Houston, Texas, and Northern California to Macon. Indictment claimed drug money was put into banking accounts where account holders quickly withdrew deposits from the banks in Texas and Northern California. Several other defendants have already pleaded guilty in this case, but others are still awaiting trial. When he was released, he began speaking to Macon youth and staying out of trouble, avoiding gangs, and making better choices. Maxwell is better known for performing the Atlanta Falcons songs The Dirty Bird. Well, it's just fucked up. You sit down for 6 years, you watch a man blow up in the legal realm and become a movie star. You come back home to do something positive, preach to the kids to keep them on the straight and narrow. They end up getting jammed back up in the same situation again. I understand the front. You was working that close to the police with this stuff, using that as a front. But it's like, damn, though, I guess some people cannot separate themselves from the game once they get the opportunity to get up out of the game. That's the whole purpose, to get the money, put it into something and invest it into something where you can end up getting some legal money so you don't have to deal with that life. Sometimes that world is just too powerful for some people, or they just got too many obligations, or they may be trapped in it in some type of way, but they can't get out of it. But shout out to you guys. Make sure you drop a comment and holler at your boy, this DOC. Peace.